11. A very good morning to all of you and a happy Lodi too. Let's just discuss the question answers of the chapter. Am I audible to all? Okay, the very first question says, what do you understand? Page number is 31. First question of your textbook, Albert Einstein at school. What do you understand of Einstein's nature from his conversations with his history teacher, his mathematics teacher, and the head teacher? So there are three parts of the question. You need to elaborate upon the three parts separately. What do you understand from his nature, of his nature, from the conversations that he had with the history teacher, with the head teacher, and the mathematics teacher? Okay, Akashita, you can start. Since you raised your hand, you're the first one to raise your hand, so you can start. Good morning.
Voice while giving answers. Secondly, when it comes to his mathematics teacher, he is very clear and he is very honest in that opinion also. And at the time of the head teacher, he knew what to do and what not to do. He's very confident at that time, and that's all that we know about his character from this author.
Okay, fine, very good. Anybody else who can just elaborate upon this question, the aspect of Einstein's nature? Anybody else from the class? Anyone else? Anybody else? Okay. Anybody else from the class who can just elaborate? Uh, yes. Uh, okay. Who said may I? Ishita. Okay, Ishita, just
Intelligent student but was against learning and especially he hated learning dates and history. He did not believe in then and prevailing system of education. His nature was a spontaneous one. He found memorizing facts and date quite useless. Yes. Ideas lured him more than fact because of which he had did argument on education with his history. He was so restless and indifferent to the importance of attending school, then he did not mind not attending it all. He made very efforts to leave the school because he don't like to study in that school, and he had a very good relation with his maths teacher, and he is very good student of mathematics also, but he did not have a good relation with his history teacher as well as his maths or as well as his headmaster, and his headmaster was said to him that his work is very terrible, and he had to leave the school for his work, and he is not attending the school regularly and seriously. So after reading the chapter, we can conclude that he did not have good relation with his history teacher and headmaster teacher. Okay, good.
what you people have said is absolutely right. The very first thing that we come across about Einstein is his conversation with his history teacher. I hope I'm audible. Am I audible? So from the conversation with the history teacher, we come to know that he's very honest and he's very firm about his opinions. Whatever opinions he had, he's very firm about that. If he says that he doesn't believe in learning facts, then he sticks to that opinion. He says that more than learning facts, it is the ideas that are important. Okay, so what comes out from his conversation with the history teacher is that he's very truthful, he's very honest, and very frankly he admits his shortcomings. And what were his shortcomings? That he never believed in learning facts, and he never looked into the book, never tried memorizing the facts. Okay, so he has very firm and well defined opinions about his whatever thoughts he had and whatever philosophy he had about life and about education. Okay, and and it clearly shows that he's basically very intelligent, and he's very logically he reasons out with his history teacher, and he has very good expression. He's very lucid in his expression also. Now when we come across his conversation with the maths teacher, the maths teacher, as you know, has had a very high opinion of Einstein, and he said something about Einstein. Can anyone just tell that, elaborate that? What did he say about him? What did the maths teacher say about him?
Ma'am, his maths teacher told
that he can't teach it anymore because he thinks that he probably he should be able to teach him because he was very good at math and he was able to learn much more than what the school taught him.
Yes. So, as Aryan elaborated, his maths teacher had said that I can't teach you anymore because soon you would be able to teach us all at school. This shows that he was really good at mathematics, and his maths teacher gave him such a glowing reference that, and he made sure that he would get admission into an Italian college. Okay, so all this shows that he was good at the subjects in which he was interested in. Okay, and as far as his conversation with the head teacher is concerned, when he was called to the head teacher's office, when the head teacher said that his presence in the classroom, it was impossible for the teacher to teach while he was around, it was impossible for the other pupils to learn while he was around. All this shows that he was not interested in all those subjects that were being taught at school. And but when he met the head teacher, when he moved out of the head teacher's room, even at that point of time, even though he was to the point of being expelled from school, he held his head high. So what does this show about him? What does this show about him? Anyone? While he just stalked out of the room of the headmaster with his head held high, and he didn't even bother to look at the building, or he didn't even bother to shut the door. What does this tell you about Einstein? Yes, he had a sense of pride in whatever he said and in himself, and he was really happy, he was ecstatic because he was being turned out of the school, and he was no longer a part of that miserable institution. Okay, next question says, the school system often curbs individual talents. Discuss. With reference to this chapter, how do you know that the system curbs? What do you understand by curbs? What is curbing something? What is curbing? To curb something means? Yes. What is curbing? C-U-R-B. What is this word? Putting restriction or not, stopping something, not allowing that thing to, come out to develop. So the system curbs individual talents. How would you relate it to Albert Einstein and the kind of education that was prevalent at that time, and the system of education? Somebody who had not answered before must answer, not Akarshita or Aryan or Ishita. Somebody else. How do you know how? Yes, but you will hold on for a moment. I'll take off my earphones, then you can respond.
I mean, in most schools, the teachers force students to learn facts. No attention is paid to individual talents and interests. All children are given the same type of education.
What else? Yes, speak up. What else?
Any arguments or questions from students are discouraged.
Okay, good. Anybody else? Anyone else who can respond, who can give the answer? Anybody else? Yes, Akarshita. Okay, Sarabjot.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the school system of...
Sarabjot.
Yes, ma'am.
Bolo.
It is true that school system often curbs individual talent. In school, there are many students who are good in arts or sports, and not everyone is good in studies. But the school develops same curriculum for all the students in the school. In such a situation, talent cannot be developed.
Okay.
And this was same with the Albert Einstein. He was good in maths, but he cannot understand history.
Okay, good. Akarshita, you can also respond. Akarshita,
Yes, ma'am.
you can also respond.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, over here, the school system often curbs individual talents. And this we could clearly see in the Albert Einstein chapter. There are often few things in which one individual might be very good, but it's not necessary that that same thing should be good with other people. For example, Einstein was very good in math, but there are few children or people who find math really difficult. Same goes with the history or other subjects that we come across in our life. So things which are lovable for me and are important to me might not be important for anybody else. So the system needs to be changed because everyone is not the same. And they do not share the same personality.
Yes, very good. Just a minute. Yes, very good, Akashita, and the others who had answered. So it's as far as the chapter is concerned, it clearly shows that uh, at that time there was no room, there was no space for individual talents, there was no space for individual aspirations and the brilliance. For example, we know that he had aptitude for mathematics, but he didn't have it for history and the other subjects that were being taught at school. He was good in science, he was good at geology, at mathematics, but those were the subjects that were not taken up during that time. So, and the kind of conversation that he had with the different teachers, which it clearly shows that the system discouraged originality and it also curbed the kind of arguments that he had put up in front of the teachers. So, the kind of education system that was prevalent at that time, it not only discouraged individual talents, but it also failed to enrich the minds of the students. And as Akashita had very clearly elaborated that one may have an aptitude for one subject, but it is not necessary that the other students would also have the aptitude for the same subject. For example, I might like mathematics, but the others might find it very difficult or taxing. And I might not be interested in history or languages or other things, but other students might be interested in those subjects. So this kind of a system that was prevalent, and it is still prevalent. It curbs individual talents. Okay. Next is, how do you distinguish between information gathering and insight formation? What do you understand by information gathering and what is insight formation? The third question, how do you distinguish between information gathering and insight formation? How would you differentiate between the two? Yes. What is information gathering? And whosoever answers, Kiran can answer, but
Means collecting facts. They are related to things that have already taken place. We cannot do anything about them. Gathering such facts has little importance. The important thing is to develop insight. It is not important to know how many people were killed in a war. The important thing is to know why that war was fought and how it could have been avoided. This true education lies in sight formation, not in gathering.
okay, very good. Yes, Ishita. Ishita? Ishita Katoch.
Yes, ma'am.
Bolo.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
wanted to respond.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, there is a mass difference between the concept of information gathering and insight information formation. Information gathering refers to the collection of basically data and fact. It means the knowledge of specific events or situation that has been gathered or received by communication. It is a passive process involving lower level of understanding. It is mere a mechanical process which encourage memorization of facts. Insight formation, on the other hand, refers to the perception one has of things through its deep understanding of a subject. Insight refers to the capacity to discern the true nature of situation. Thus, it might differ from person to person depending on everyone's ideas and concepts. It is more complex process by which actual learning take place.
Yes, very good. Anybody else? Anybody else from the boys' side? Boys? Anyone? Very good, both of you, Akarshita and Ishita. I said anybody from the boys' side who wants to respond, who would like to elaborate on the do. Yes, Aryan. Aryan, bolo.
Or anything that happened in the past are basically facts. As in the chapter, Albert Einstein said that there is no point in learning them, and one could look them in books. And he meant that if we analyze the fact and understood the causes that led to a certain incident, such as a war or learning a new idea, that would be insight learning, because from that we could get information that would actually help our logical reasoning, and it would also improve our analysis, interpretation of understanding things.
Yes, good. So, okay. So as has been elaborated by everybody, insight information gathering is just gathering of the information, like learning of the facts. For example, you have to relate it with the, as Aryan did, you have to relate it with the chapter. As learning of facts in history, it is just gathering of information, but getting to know the reasons behind those incidents, ascertaining the facts, ascertaining the causes that led to that particular war or that particular incident, that is insight formation. And getting having your own perspective towards a particular situation, that is also insight formation. So basically what is required is you need to gather information, you need to have a blend of the two things. Okay, fine blend of the two things. You need to gathering of information is also important, but more important is formation of insight. Okay, so this is about the textbook questions. Now we shall discuss some extra questions also, and then we discuss the assignment. The assignment part, whatever I've given you in the assignment. Let me ask you a few extra questions, just one or two more questions, and those you need not do in your registers, but we shall only discuss them there. Okay. Like in what sense had we've discussed is the medical certificate burned a hole in Einstein's pocket? This is an important question. We discussed it the other day. Okay. So next question is, what was the reason for Albert feeling miserable when he left the school the very first day, when he was asked to stay back? What was the reason for his feeling miserable? Why did he feel miserable after being punished by the history teacher? Was the punishment cause for his misery or something else? Why did he feel miserable in the first place? Yes? Somebody else? Aryan? Yes, Nakul. Nakul. Just wait for 2 seconds. Just wait for 2 seconds, Nakul.
Albert Einstein's misery on the first day of his school was that he had to go again to the school the very next day and keep attending the school, which always promoted and wanted to impose cramming method rather than analyzations of the information.
Yes. Okay, and then something else was also there. Something else apart from this. Yes, Nakul is very much right that his days were bad at school. It was just like any other bad day. It was awfully bad, and the other days were equally bad. And then he had to come to that hateful institution the very next day also. So he was feeling miserable. But I said something else apart from this was also there. What was that? What was the other reason for his feeling of misery, of feeling miserable? Apart from the school, what else was there that added up to that feeling? Somebody, yes, Tushita bolo.
Well, because he hated the school and would have to return there the next day as well.
He hated school and he had to come there the next day as well. But then we have to mention here about his lodgings also. And he hated going there too, because there was an atmosphere of slum violence, and he hated the dirt, he hated the squalor, and the kind of atmosphere, the kind of ambience, the kind of violence that was prevalent there. You have to mention about his lodgings also. This was the point that was missing. Okay. Next question is Kamal. Do we have any Kamal in our class? There's no Kamal. Kamal है बच्चे कोई क्लास में? What puzzled Einstein in his meeting with Mr. Koch, and how was that puzzle solved? Why was he confused? What was the thing that puzzled him when he met Mr. Koch? Someone else who's not answered before. What was the thing that puzzled Einstein in his meeting with Mr. Koch, and how was that puzzle solved? Somebody else, not Akarshita. Someone else. Mr. Koch was his mathematics teacher. What puzzled him when he met him, and how was the puzzle solved? Bolo? Speak up. Somebody apart from Akarshita or Aryan or Ishita or Tushita, someone else. Hurry up, I'm waiting for you people to respond. Why did he get puzzled when he met Mr. Koch? Okay, Akarshita, you can respond.
Mr. Koch was Albert Einstein maths teacher,
Yes.
and he was puzzled because he didn't know how to respond when his maths teacher said that he already knew why he was leaving the school before even Albert Einstein's knowing.
Yes. Yes. Very good. So,
And so it was cleared out because the head teacher has invited him to his office only.
yes. Yes. Very good. So, this is the answer, as somebody had, Karthik Kohli had written. That is not the answer, because it was not the fact that the maths teacher said that Albert Einstein knew more maths than him, and he would be able to teach him. This was not the reason. He got puzzled, he got confused because of the response of the mathematics teacher when he said that Mr. Koch, when he said that he knew it, that Albert Einstein was going to leave the school even before Einstein knew it himself. Okay, so he didn't understand why Mr. Koch had said so, why he was saying so. But that puzzle was soon resolved, because when he went to the school the next day, he didn't have to take an appointment with the headmaster, and the headmaster called him himself and asked him to leave the school on his own accord. Otherwise, he would be expelled from school. Okay, so this is the answer. Fine. Somebody, can someone just share that assignment that I had given you so that we can discuss it? Okay, next is the education system prevalent at that time emphasized. Yes, rote learning. Why, according to Einstein, should we study? To widen our horizon. Yes, good. What quality of Einstein is highlighted in the above passage? Curiosity. Yes, curiosity. Okay. Next is Mr. Next. Let me just read that. Mr. Koch willingly gave Albert the reference he wanted. If I say I can't teach you anymore, and soon probably you'll be able to teach me, will that be all right? He said, that's saying too much, sir, said Albert. It's only the truth, but all right, I'll put it more seriously. It was still a glowing reference, and Mr. Koch made the point that Albert was ready immediately to enter a college or institute for the study of higher mathematics. Okay. The question is, if I say I can't teach you anymore, and probably you will soon be able to teach me, will that be all right? What does it tell us about Albert Einstein? Yes, that he was a genius. He was a great student of mathematics, actually, and he was a genius. So both 1 and 2. Next is, why did Albert need a reference from Mr. Koch? To leave that school? Yes, to get admission, to get admission in higher college or university, you can say, to get admission. That is why he needed reference, not for leaving the school. Okay, second would be the right answer. Second option. What does glowing reference mean? Yes, it is reference full of praise. Okay, that is all. Audrey? Yes, he hardly bothered to wonder why he had been sent for, but vaguely supposed he was to be punished again for bad work and laziness. Well, he had finished with punishments. Who sent for Einstein? Yes, who sent? None of the above. Yes, none of the above, because it was the head teacher who had summoned him, who had called him, who had sent for him. So none of the above. Next is, why was he not bothered for being summoned? Yes, option 3. Okay, this was going to be the last time that he will be summoned. Why did Einstein suppose he would be punished again? Yes, for being lazy and ignoring work. Okay. Okay. I'll send you another, small assignment, but that you can only go through. There's no need to submit it in the classroom. Okay. Then let's move on to the attendance part then. Medha.